Hey guys, it's Chris and welcome back to another Witcher video. This time talking a little bit more Witcher lore. What the fuck was that? Hey guys, it's Chris and welcome back to another video. This time talking about a little bit more of the Witcher lore, as The Witcher on Netflix Season 1 has now been dropped. Most people have seen it by now, still a few people catching up. But anyway, I want to talk about some of the signs or basic magic that the Witchers can actually use during combat or otherwise, and where we've seen it used so far in The Witcher Season 1. So anyway, let's jump right into some more Witcher lore, the signs. Alright, so we didn't get to see a lot of the signs in The Witcher Season 1 on Netflix, but we'll probably get to see a little bit more in Season 2. From my understanding, Henry Cavill actually asked to do more of these signs, so the few we got were probably due to him asking about them. So in a nutshell, the signs are basic magic that a Witcher can use during combat or otherwise. And typically this basic magic that a Witcher can use are symbols that are created or drawn by their hands, which is why they're called signs. So anyway, let's talk about the 5 most common signs you'll probably see and hopefully more of in Season 2, and we'll talk about when we saw them in Season 1. So number 1, we have first the sign called Ard. And think of Ard as essentially a telekinetic blast, so for you Star Wars fans, think of Force Push. Now the glyph or symbol of Ard is based off the alchemical symbol for air, which of course comes from alchemy in the real world. It is probably the most common sign that the Witcher may use, and can be used to clear a path either by knocking down a wall or blowing apart a pile of debris. Now during combat, it can also be used to stun, knock down, or disarm an opponent. Now there is a pretty cool little quote from the books when Yennefer is talking about this sign. This may contain minor spoilers for Season 2, just a heads up. It basically insinuates that 2 characters will eventually meet. So with that said, here's a little passage from Blood of Elves. The so-called sign of Ard-Siri is a simple spell belonging to the family of psychokinetic magic, which is based on the thrusting energy in the required direction. The force of the thrust depends on how the will of the person throwing it is focused, and on the expelled force, it can be considerable. And again, that is Yennefer discussing this sign with Ciri in the book Blood of Elves. Now as far as the Netflix show The Witcher, we did see Geralt use this a couple times in Season 1, most notably in Episode 1 when he was fighting Renfri's men. He used Ard to blow them back as he was fighting in Blaviken. Geralt also used this sign again in Episode 3 when fighting the Striga. And number 2, we have Agni. Now Agni is essentially a pyrokinetic burst, so just think fire from the damn Witcher's hands. Now the Agni glyph or symbol is also based on the alchemical symbol for fire. Agni is a simple magical sign used by Witchers that is essentially a pyrokinetic burst that can repel or ignite opponents, as well as start fires. So not only to ignite enemies and burn them, for example, but he can also just light a damn candle. Now as far as Agni goes in the show, unfortunately we have not seen Geralt yet use this. And number 3, we have Axii. Think of this as a Jedi mind trick. Now the Axii glyph or symbol is based off the alchemical symbol for water. As you can see, there's an elemental pattern here. Axii is another magical sign comprised of a hypnotic effect, and it's used by Witchers and can calm down people and creatures or manipulate their minds, and even cause an enemy to fight alongside the Witcher temporarily. And Geralt often uses Axii in the books to calm down Roach when she senses danger. As far as the TV show The Witcher on Netflix, we did see Geralt use Axii one time during Episode 1 when he tries to attempt to sway Renfri from killing the people in Blaviken, and of course she responded, "Magic doesn't work on me." And number 4, we have Quin. Think of Quin as basically a force field. Now continuing our elemental theme, the glyph or symbol for Quin is also based off the alchemical symbol for earth. When Quin is cast, it forms a protective field around the Witcher, which protects him from things like sonic waves and similar attacks, but not necessarily from physical blows, but it does absorb some damage, at least in the video game The Witcher 3. And again, unfortunately for us, we have not seen Quin used in the Netflix series The Witcher Season 1. And number 5, we have Yrden. Now Yrden is essentially a magical trap. Now to continue the elemental theme of the symbols and what they look like, this is actually based off something called the 5th element, which is another source of magic in this world when all the other sources, earth, air, fire, and water, are combined. So it kind of sorta looks like all the other symbols combined. Yrden is another magical sign used by Witchers. When inscribed on a solid surface, it blocks the monster from getting closer. If an enemy enters the affected area by the sign, the enemy is slowed down, and non-corporeal forces become corporeal. For example, a spirit or ghost or something like that, which you cannot actually physically touch, can become a physical body, which can take damage. If it bleeds, you can kill it.
If it bleeds, we can kill it.
Now, in The Witcher on Netflix during Season 1, we actually did see Geralt use Jurden. Specifically during Episode 3 when he fights the Striga, he uses Jurden to kind of lock it in the vault area, and then once again he climbs into the sarcophagus and uses Jurden to keep it from getting in, which of course trapped it outside of its tomb until the sun rose or until the rooster crowed 3 times, which actually lifted the curse. So those are the 5 basic signs, and the most common, the ones you're really going to see on the TV show or in the video games for that matter, but there are actually a few more that I'll quickly mention but won't really get into deep in this video. So there are actually 4 more Witcher signs they can use, one being called Heliotrope, and this is again very similar to Quin as like a force field, but it's only a temporary defense against combat magic, physical attacks, and various impacts. It's kind of a one strike, real quick block type thing, so it makes it a little bit different from Quin. And then you have one called Somne, which can actually put somebody to sleep. There's also one called Supire, which honestly I don't know a lot about or how it works, but apparently it's used for eavesdropping. And last but not least, there's one aptly named the Hate Reflecting Sign. Yeah, that's the actual name. And it's simply a sign that reflects the opponent's hate, bloodlust, or anger back at the actual enemy to make it afraid itself. So basically a mirror on the wall type sign, I guess. Anyway, that's the basic magic of a Witcher in a nutshell. All the signs they use. Again, the most common are going to be Ard, Agni, Axii, Quin, and Jurden. So those are the ones you'll probably see or at least recognize if they start doing more of them in The Witcher Season 2. So anyway, guys, let me know what you think in the comments below. As usual, thank you for all the support, especially to you guys on Patreon. And a huge shout out to my executive Patreon SmokeScreen producers. And of course, if you dig what I do here, please give these videos a like, comment, and a share. And of course, be sure to subscribe to get everything and click that notification bell twice so you're notified when I drop a new video. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.